2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and the millions
and millions
of fans for Jabronis United, we have come back to your Wednesday night. Sorry, with The Rock coming back to wrestling, it's like I had to do it. There was like the one time I had to do it.
You should have done
welcome back to
dozens.
Jabronis United. Yes, your main one-stop shop for all things wrestling on Wednesdays. Of course, I am your host, the Real Deal, Ryan O'Regan. With me, as always, is the Sniper, Kyle Krieger. And we are going to be getting into quite a bit tonight. A little bit of The Rock, a little bit of the Vince, a little bit of Jade Cargill, and what it means for AEW's women's division. And boy, has AEW Dynamite been a show tonight. But we will all get into that in a little bit. First and foremost, considering we do have our special event coming up this Saturday, it does need to be talked about.
Looking like we're losing
just
you.
Briefly at the beginning.
The connection is dying. It's dying, just like my faith in WWE.
So let's go ahead.
Well, so going on what Ryan was talking about, this is the final week that you can get 10% off of Danger Zone, and MMA extravaganza filled with fights upon fights, great for the entire family. Definitely check it out. It's only a whole $10 on September 23rd at 7 p.m. Take a look at the ticker at the bottom of the screen. Go to that address, get yourself that discount for an extra 10% off, and enjoy. It's going to be a phenomenal fight, and honestly, I can't wait. So, how's the connection going up there?
I'm seriously starting to think doing that video just like tanks me on my internet.
Oh, geez, that's no good. Well, we could try out something different maybe next week, see how that goes. But for now, we definitely got ourselves some. We got ourselves some Danger Zone coming up.
Yes, 19 fights for $10. Go ahead and check out the event this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to moment.com to go ahead and purchase your ticket, or you can just use the QR code right there, and that'll take you right to it. And that way you can get practically 19 fights of MMA goodness for what it would cost you for like an order of wings to watch it. Which I am hungry. I have not eaten yet today, so that's probably what's getting to me here. But yes, go ahead, follow the ticker, use the discount code, and we will see you there. But
absolutely.
That said, we do have some wrestling stuff to talk about tonight. And first and foremost, we got to talk about Rocky. So, yeah, last week, Friday night, thanks to other sports paraphernalia from Pat McAfee, he pretty much brought in The Rock for SmackDown. It was a great pop. No one was really expecting it, even though he was in the area for the day. And I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing.
Honestly, it's always good to have him around because his mic work is still head and shoulders above pretty much everything else. And And you kind of got to see it on display against Austin Theory. You could see, you could hear the difference in the ability to work a microphone. And it's just, yeah, just with the crowd interaction was top notch as per usual when it comes with The Rock. And you know what? They need this right now. And honestly, The
Well,
Rock isn't doing anything else right now. So,
well, yeah, okay, that's the one thing. We understand that one of the main reasons The Rock even showed up is because, as of right now, because of the strike going on
mhm,
in the world, and XFL being what it was, and
the XFL.
licensing deals with NBC has been put on hold, and his stuff with Warner Brothers isn't great right now.
Mhm.
Rock's getting bored, and he needs some place to go and do things. Now, would I agree of whether or not WWE needs him right now? I don't know if I would say they need him.
Mm, I think they do.
I would say if look, this has always been a WWE staple where they go ahead and for some ungodly reason they feel like, oh, well, we're not doing well with our homegrown people, even though between the Bloodline and the Judgment Day, they have been able to build up quite a few people and make them staples of their television time. But no, we need a part timer to come in and drum things up.
Uh, Unfortunately, it's probably going to lead to part timer versus part timer, which is a Vince specialty for WrestleMania.
Oh, and don't get me started on WrestleMania. I mean, yes, good old Jeff. Thank you for joining us as always. It is interesting because yeah, he is good for ticket sales.
No
Obviously,
doubt.
same thing could be said for John Cena or Randy Orton if he came back from injury or something like that. Anytime you have somebody who you don't think is going to be around for quite a while, it's always going to be interesting because you don't know how long they're going to be there. So you don't know if the first time that they do say, hey, he's going to be at a paid live event or a premium live event, whatever they call PLE, it may be the only time he's available or they're available. But I would say that it's not a necessity like it is right now. I would understand if it was a necessity if like a lot of people were out on injured list, but it's not.
Yeah.
I could understand if AEW was really killing them in the market, say, ratings wise, but they're not. This, I feel like, is going to just overshadow the people that they do have things for. Remember how it was said back WrestleMania time last year that there was a lot of talk about Roman Reigns versus The Rock, and that was going to be the main event for that night, for that event. They've been talking about Roman and The Rock for however long, and it was going to pay off. But the thing is, Rock couldn't get himself into shape in time for the match, and they couldn't come up with any good reason to bring Rock together with Roman. They were talking for like almost 6 months to 8 months. They could not do anything to get this going.
Also makes me wonder.
How do you not do that?
It also makes me wonder how much money they just dumped on them.
Right. I mean, now that the merger is complete, whether or not that had anything to do with it, I don't know.
Well,
But
when you're planning on dumping almost your entire roster, you're gonna have some
well, I
extra
mean,
money
they
to
already
burn.
laid off 100 people
Yeah, exactly,
internally,
exactly.
business
So
wise.
that's
There
a lot
have
of
been
money,
no roster cuts yet,
as far as we know.
but it'll also make you wonder if any roster cuts happen within, like, say, the next week or so. How much of it was to make sure that Rock got his money?
It probably definitely played into that because you saw a bunch of roster cuts when they dumped a pile of money on Pat frickin' McAfee.
Yeah, no, that was bad timing.
It was
And
intentional.
even then, he ended up having to leave because they needed him for football.
Yeah, exactly. So
So
it's that
it's
was
not
a
like it
garbage
kept
move
him
that
there.
ended up costing people their jobs.
Right.
And now they can say, "Oh, we don't have enough money," even though they just literally dump trucked a pile of money on The Rock. for a moment that I honestly don't really care for. It's like yeah, they missed their opportunity with The Rock versus Reigns, but even then, it's like looking at this photo, I remember the reaction to it. Everyone was so pissed off about it because
Well, it
it's
was
like
that
yeah,
particular event.
The Rock endorses Roman
Yeah.
Reigns, but it's like, you know what? It was at a time where it was at one of the main times where Reigns was just being force fed down everyone's throats. So it's like, oh yeah, we'll bring in The Rock. He'll get cheered. He got booed. The
Mm-hmm.
Rock got booed unintentionally. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've used Rock very sparingly,
Hmm.
almost to like, get cheap pops and
Yeah.
stuff. But to actually go ahead and make an angle with him as far as whether or not he's going to wrestle Roman later on down the line, which of course derails everything that's been talked about with Cody.
Hmm.
And say what you will about LA Knight, whether or not he's ready to go against the Bloodline and get the big belt, I don't know. Maybe he still needs to get like a smaller title first. But you have these people that they have been working up to be like main face characters, main driving force characters who will eventually be champion. But then you're bringing in the part timer to possibly take care of the championship title for like a few months and then drop it because, oh, the strike will be over and he'll have to go.
Yeah. So so they're basically going to give Roman a win over The Rock, and it's just adding to the current force feed of Roman Reigns, who in addition to that isn't even going to be seen on TV for the next like 2 months because he's a part
Right.
timer, and
What?
it's
Oh,
just
and yeah, if they decide to do this for WrestleMania
oh
40
my
in
god.
Philadelphia,
I hope it
where this,
becomes. I
oh,
hope it's Atomic Heat. I hope they are booed out of the friggin' building. It's because it's the friggin' force feed that I've harped on this so many friggin' times. It's like we're so tired of the same old crap. So it's like, yeah, I love that The Rock is back, but I'm dreading what they're going to be doing with him. Because they're basically going to
and
be
then you
doing
have
that to
these
get the
poor
cheap
boys.
pops. He's gonna probably squash Austin Theory, which good, but then he's going to end up losing to Roman Reigns. It's going to be like, haha, I'm the head of the table. I'm still super duper. I'm Super Reigns. Haha, punch punch, and it's just is
And here's the thing: the
I
Bloodline,
don't
as
want
they
to
have it
watch it.
right now on SmackDown,
It's like I don't want to
it's not the
watch this.
Bloodline. Yeah, if you have him working against the Bloodline in any way, or shape, or capacity, whether it be Jimmy or Solo, that's already just going to squash them.
It's like how
It's one
fucking
thing if you go ahead and you squash someone like Austin Theory,
yeah,
because as of right now, his value in the
yeah,
company is like done.
yeah,
Even without the belt, it's just done.
yep, and yeah, it's like, and even then, it doesn't even matter. Like as mentioned, it's like yeah, if he wasn't liked in Philly time. He wasn't liked anywhere at the time. It was during the babyface reigns. He cannot lose. Period. And now we're in the heel reigns. He cannot lose. Period. And it didn't work then. It's not going to work now. But yeah, people already spent hundreds of thousands on tickets because it's WrestleMania. It's going to sell out, or it's gonna basically break records in sales. And they're going to take that, even though they knew it was, even though you know it's going to happen, they're still going to take that as, oh, we're doing the right thing, this guy's good shit. It just it's like it's like I said, I don't want to watch this. And yet it still gets force fed. it's it's
I'm sorry,
garbage.
Kyle. Can you just say that one more time for the people at home?
I don't want to watch this.
It doesn't matter what you want.
What?
So I had to do it.
Nah.
Had to do it.
Well, guess what? It does matter
But
because I'm not going to be tuning in. So that's
but
less money
that's
from
the
me.
thing, though. That's the way Vince and company will see this. That's even probably how Triple H will see it. It's about making spectacle. When Rock was being touted around for last year's WrestleMania, well, this year's WrestleMania, he wanted it to be something they had never seen before, something special.
Yeah.
and yet they couldn't write anything for them. So now you're going to have what, a 6 to 7 month trial period of The Rock being available because of the strike. And are you going to have something then? And if you do, how much does that take away from the people that you would have been building up had Rock not been available?
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that really irks me. This is taking away from people who have been there, putting in their sweat and time. Hell, even Cena has shown up more than Rock has, and
Yeah.
Cena's just there in the same
Cena's shown up more
capacity
than
to either
Reigns
promote
has.
for England or to get on Grayson Waller's case or whatever. And
Cena's shown up more than Reigns has. It is such a garbage force feed, and now they're literally feeding The Rock to Roman Reigns. How diluted, how disconnected do you have to be to think this is a good idea?
well, we are talking about Vince McMahon here. The man is not connected to
Vince
reality.
in a now solidified I'm in control position again.
Oh yes. So let's touch on that now, since we've harped on The Rock enough. I mean, The Rock's doing what he has to make money, and that's fine. That's understandable. I'm not going to hate on him in that consent, but there is something to be said for the fact that they did have to have a meeting this past Monday on before Raw with all the big heads, whether it be Vince or Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan. Um, they had to sit everyone down and let everyone know what the spaces is now that the merger has finalized.
Mm-hmm.
And they went ahead, and Vince himself said, "This is Ari Emanuel. This is my boss now."
Okay, great.
We
He's
don't.
he's still
How many of us believe
contractually
that?
in full control of WWE now. Except now that
Right.
rather than being the guy in control, he can now just point at his contract and say, "See, this is my control. That's good shit. I'm in control. Ha ha ha!" And no one can boot him out because no matter how much you complain about him now, there's still it's like now Vince has someone higher than him who can basically veto it. So he'll have basically he'll have majority veto power because it's like it's like, you know what, he wants to shoehorn himself back in. That's, you know what, I'm it's like fine, I'm done with him. It's like he's not gonna relinquish control until he's friggin' dead.
Well, it's not even that. It's
Yeah,
also the
yeah, he
fact that
has,
he
yeah,
explained
it's
he,
two big votes instead of one.
he explained to everyone there at the meeting that the reason the merger happened was simply because he felt that WWE had reached its peak,
He
and
always
that the merger needed to happen in order
bull
for WWE to reach the
bull.
next level.
It no,
I know.
it peaked under him. It peaked under him. He's like it, yeah, it peaked because, you know, because he got the friggin' boot. Of course he's gonna say it peaked. Of course he is. Because he's like, oh, see, it's not improving since I'm not in control. And it just
Now let us think at face value
he
here. Now, if
can
we're in the
he
room,
that was just a it I think South Park did it best, where they were basically just spewing crap out of someone's mouth. That was him. That's him during that press conference.
but here's the thing. Okay, imagine this: you're a talent in the WWE locker room. You have Ari Emanuel. You have Nick Khan there. You have Triple H, who, by all means, has probably been like the one shining light
Yep.
in
And now he
all
has
things being
less.
organized.
And now he has less
And
creative
then
say.
you have Vince McMahon going ahead and showing up. Oh, I'm sorry. No, wait.
That is the perfect
That's the
image.
wrong picture. Hold
That
on.
is
No,
the perfect picture.
hold on. Hold on. No. You have Vince McMahon show up, and no, wait, no, that's not right either. Um, hold on. Hold on. I can get this. I can get this. You have Vince show
He
up,
really
and
is a Disney villain at this point.
dang it. No, hold. Let me. No, it's not. It's not an animated picture. He is a cartoon villain, but no. You have Vince show up, and
Nah, the mustache is too big.
You're right. All right, that must have been like one of his older pictures. Okay, you have Vince show up, and actually, this looks better than his real
It
picture,
really
to be
does.
honest.
Like I said, he looks like a deranged Walt Disney.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Actual picture.
Yeah.
So I had that bit just sitting in me, like you have no idea.
Mm.
I I had to, but yeah, you have Vince show up. Oh, he really is just that bad, man.
He really
Oh, but
is. He, like I said, he's it's like Walt Disney from from like the ninth circle of hell. So it's just, yeah. So it's just, yeah. It basically, as mentioned before,
it's like, what about the look of this man instills confidence?
it, it in his mind he does, like a lot of the same people of his ilk. It's just,
I mean, look at him.
yeah, it
I
Botoxed it up.
I wouldn't trust him with a used car.
Well, no, we see what happens to his limos, but yeah, it's just, yeah,
The man's good enough to fake his death. Yes, he's a very confident person.
yeah. No, it's just the it's, I don't know. We saw the degradation of quality happening over the past year or so. We see the complete and utter force feed yet again. It's just, now it's like he's entrenched again, and there's really probably gonna be no way to get him out until he dies.
Well,
And it's like, yeah, I'm sure that
I
they're,
don't know.
yeah,
There is a possibility. There is a possibility.
no, no,
I think
nope.
the merger may end up biting him in the butt.
Him, no. It'll bite everyone else in the butt, but not him. He's making out with billions of friggin' dollars. He
Yes,
ain't the
but he's
loser in
also.
this. He might be a
But
loser as a
if
person, but
again,
he ain't
if
the
the
loser in
roster does
this.
not have confidence, something will happen because of it.
If they have no confidence, he'll still have Emmanuel's vote in addition to his.
Not if Emmanuel sees that it's going to cost him money. I mean, he's already worked with somebody like Dana White,
WWE is not
who
going to be losing money. They're fine, especially when they wipe out half the roster. They ain't losing money now. They don't
I'm
have the
trying to be
expenses.
Kyle, I'm trying to be optimistic
There
here.
is no optimism when it comes to this guy. At least not right now.
Oh, I know I'm laughing. I'm just still laughing over the pictures, but
Yeah.
still. No, there is always the possibility that if they can vote, make a vote of no confidence against Vince, he can be gone. And right now, even if he is the
If
CEO,
they
or if Tony Khan is Nick Khan is the CEO
God, if
of
Tony Khan popped up,
WWE.
if Tony Khan popped up
Yeah,
as the owner, that'd be hilarious.
if he does not have the ability to make smart decisions, he now has more eyes on him than he did before, which means he could just as well get himself taken out.
How
The only reason he left before was because he
how old is
retired
he?
in disgrace
How old is he?
because he messed up and it got out that he messed up.
And yet he's
That's why
back,
he left.
even with all that happening. They still
Right,
they
which
still felt
means
they
he is dumb enough to have it happen
but
again.
they still yes, but they still felt the confidence in buying it and keeping him in charge. They don't care what the rest of what anyone else says. Like the entire roster could be complaining about him. Emmanuel doesn't care because he's still making money hand over fist. Khan is don't
Right,
won't
but
care
then
because
he
he's
doesn't
making
care
money
about
hand
Vince
over
either.
fist. They they basically shoved the only one who would care, probably Triple H, got shoved into a position of essentially, yeah, he still has some power, but he has no more real control because he has more people
He
above
has
him now.
more oversight than he did before, yes.
Yeah,
And there were
exactly.
plenty of
So
people that wish
Yeah.
Stephanie had stuck around.
Oh,
That probably would
absolutely.
have helped things
That
too.
would have been fine if Stephanie stuck around and this happened. That would have been it would have been a lot better because under Stephanie and Triple H, I think the product was notably better. Like
Well,
the
they were
morale was
making
the morale
noticeable
was
changes.
certainly better.
They were making changes that were visible, not just
Yes,
to the shareholders, but to the
exactly.
public. The minute you saw Brock Lesnar coming in against Roman Reigns, and he had that big old like bulldozer, just like
Yeah.
jumping on, climbing onto that, jumping off of that,
Hmm.
hitting
Yeah.
Reigns in the ring. That's when you knew,
The tractor.
okay, they're trying some things.
Yes. Yes.
They have not been trying things per se. They've been trying
No.
people,
It's
and
it's
that's
going back to the Vince formula. We see it. We've been seeing it for the past year.
well, as of right now, you have the bloodline stuff still going on to some extent, although
It's
you don't have
LOL
Roman there,
Reigns
so it's not as
wins.
strong. You have Jay over on Raw, and they're basically doing the
Gonna be
whole
mid
Kevin
card.
Owens doesn't trust him thing
He's
again.
gonna be mid card before Jay's gonna be mid card before you know it. They're gonna have Owens lose the title because that's what Vince would
Right, but
want.
they're rehashing storyline basically. They're not even bringing in
Exactly.
anything new.
Exactly.
And
Same
then
old shit.
and then you do have Naya, who
Who is a
is decimating the
hazard
women's
in the
division.
ring.
Supposedly already has Raquel Rodriguez out on injury, as well
She
as
didn't even waste
Rhea
time.
Ripley
Didn't
out on
even
injury.
waste time to showcase just how dangerous she is in the ring, and not just because she's a power heel. No, she
Right.
does. It's like
But then that
because
whole
that's what
decimation of like
Vince wants.
what decimated Chelsea Green, decimated Shayna Baszler, who was supposed to be getting like some sort of like kick up now that Ronda was gone.
Ain't gonna happen now.
But now, and mind you, Shayna's the one who has been Nia Jax's tag partner both
That's not
times
good
that she's won the
shit.
belt. Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
It's he's in control now. So we're gonna see the same old crap that we got tired of 2-3 years ago. So it's like
Hey,
I want I was I when this happened, it's like I tried to find any angle I could to be optimistic, and there is none. Not right now. There isn't.
you've made that abundantly clear. It's like I'm trying to show that he may be his own undoing.
And but you know what?
I don't think I can convince you.
But by the time anything would get done, if something pops up, like right now, he's gonna be locked in there for at least another year or so, at the very, 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 very least, because new purchase. It's not going to happen immediately because you got to deal with like shareholder voting, and they don't get convinced they don't get convinced quickly. So it's like, so he's going to be
Convinced.
there at least exactly. Yeah, he's going to be there at least a year, definitely more, before any type of risk of him losing his
Well,
position
good.
due to the stupid crap that he's going to implement. So yeah, we might see it 2-3 years down the line. Who knows? Maybe something will happen. Maybe people will get pissed off at him enough. But he's going to be there for at least this grace period again, because of the new sale, and nothing's going to happen. So we are in for a pile of garbage for the next year, at least.
I am still hopeful that things will rectify themselves prior to that. Hopefully before WrestleMania. But again, time will tell. So
But
now that I'm done trying
but by
to
then, but by then,
put like
Vince might be so old and senile that he just might be dying. Who knows?
so now that I'm done trying to put like a smattering of lipstick on this pig, uh,
No,
let's get into what we
you're
always
putting a
talk about
smattering
every Wednesday.
You're putting a smattering of lipstick on a frickin' Marlboro from goddamn Final Fantasy. See if you follow that joke. See if you follow that reference to any of our gamer fans out there.
You good? I want to make sure you're completely out, vinced out before we move
I've
on.
been vinced out for the past year. I am in pure frustration mode now.
All right. With that happy statement taken care of, let us move on to what has actually been a very promising outlook for AEW. Their Dynamite Grand Slam event that happened tonight has really worked out quite well, I have to say.
Hmm.
So, for AEW Dynamite, there was quite a few big matches and quite a few title changes.
Hmm.
But before we get to the title changes, one thing I do want to point out story wise. Um, so Sammy Guevara has done Chris Jericho dirty,
He has.
lining himself with Don Callis of all people,
Don
which of course we
Cialis.
will learn more about on Friday on Rampage. So they they keep trying to do things to get people to watch Rampage. I don't know if they will, but how do you feel about no more Jericho Appreciation Society, no more Jericho and Sammy? Just
The same thing I felt about
done.
the past 3 times he's changed the faction that he runs over the past year and a half. So I feel the same way about it. It's like, all right, it ran its course, and you know what? He's not overextending it and running it into the ground forever. That's fine. It's like, yeah, some factions you want to see run forever. Others, when you notice that the needle is tipping the other way, he's ending them before they get too stale. So you know what? Good on it. I'm fine with that. I'm interested to see what comes up next.
Yeah, I almost hate to say it, but after watching Jericho versus Will Ospreay at All In, I kind of feel like Jericho might need a little time off.
Either that or a singles run or even a managerial run. He might find his next big thing and be in the corner rather than in the match. He could be call himself the star maker or something like that.
It's possible. I mean, I almost feel like he was doing that with Sammy
He
though,
was.
because Sammy was like the first
Yes.
person to join the inner circle. Really,
Yes. And you know what? And at this point, I think I guess Sammy has established himself enough that now they could push. Now they could see what else he can do. You know what? I like it. I think it's a good move.
it's a good move for him, certainly, and more than likely, this probably will lead to another blow off match that
Mhm.
might happen at Wrestle Dream. I could imagine.
But the only thing is, like, I'm surprised with the finish of tonight's match between the two, where they had Jericho go over. I'm actually kind of surprised about that.
I'm not, especially if you're Sammy Guevara. Look at it from his perspective. Jericho has almost been like an albatross around his neck.
But then he
And
loses
chances
to the
are, if you're
albatross.
someone young like Sammy and you know you're very capable, but you've kind of maybe been held down a little bit, not just by the Jericho Appreciation Society, but by Chris himself, almost as if like he's an aging grandpa that you need to take care of because you're the one that lives with him in hospice.
Grandpa
If it's
Jericho's going
that sort of
crazy again.
situation, I completely understand Sammy doing what he's doing. Did he have to do it as dirty as he did? No, he could have easily just walked away like everyone else did. But if it's a Don Callis move, I can't say I'm surprised.
And with Don and with Callis kind of finishing the rivalry with Omega, this is a good point to extend the storyline. But then again, you could also still have the implementation of Omega getting involved with some of these matches due to the bad blood. So it's like it has a bunch of different threads that could be picked. And so it's like I kind of like where this is going.
I would want to say my hope is that if they do some kind of blow off with Jericho, and he does come back, don't come back yet. Come back in 2024.
Before the end of the year, or finish the year with him popping up again. Basically, set the stage for next year.
Maybe. But yeah, give him a couple of months off so that this way it doesn't feel
Yeah.
like Jericho's dragging his ass through all of this.
Okay.
And, again,
But
he's
that's
been very active
yeah.
lately. And
But
sometimes when you're that active, you do need to take like the
yes.
break.
Yes. But at the same
And
time,
People make fun enough of Jericho's body at this point that
not Jennifer's
he
body,
needs a break.
not Jennifer's
Chris
body, but
Barrett
Jericho's
body.
Jericho's body.
Yeah, Jericho's body.
There's a horror movie for you. But basically, but then again, what you just said kind of plays into why I'm still kind of surprised that they had Jericho go over. Because if he's going to be taking some time off, why not have it after a loss? You should have it after getting beat by Guevara. That way, you send Guevara off on a high note to do his own thing, while giving Jericho the reason to take the time off, the in story reason.
There are there are ways you can go about it. I just think as long as this doesn't become like another thing where Sammy Guevara is just being added to another group, and then getting possibly lost in the shuffle depending on how many people Don Callis goes ahead and adds on. We already know he's got his eye on Daniel Garcia.
Mm,
He already thinks very highly of him.
mm.
And I don't want to see Don Callis just make another appreciation society. You know, keep the faction small. Don't keep adding and adding and adding so that this way people get lost in the mix.
Jericho Appreciation Society 2.
A callous appreciation society? No, I don't think so.
The Cialis Appreciation Society.
That's there probably is something like that already
Yes, that's
out in the
already in
world.
reality. But yeah, so it's like, I personally, like I said, I like the way it's going. The only thing that kind of surprised me was how the feud finished, but it is what it is. What I do like about AEW Dynamite is that they have so many title defenses on a weekly show. They aren't saving it all for freaking a pay-per-view or a paid entertainment event or whatever the heck they call it.
Yeah, this Grand Slam,
I think this
I
is
don't know
great.
what it is that they made them want to go ahead and do this much tonight. I don't know if it's because we're living in a post CM Punk AEW, or if it's because they know they also lost Jade. But yeah, they are really doing quite a bit.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like I said, I like it. I think it it gets people to tune in to a weekly show. It's like you're not. It's like, yeah. WWE has been around long enough and has established themselves enough that they can just do their BS formula and never have anything substantial in terms of titles happen during a weekly show where they have any changes happen on a pay-per-view. So if you're going to, like, say, like Raw or SmackDown, chances are you're not going to see a title change hands. But when it comes to AEW, we're seeing tons of title defenses. We're seeing lots of
Speaking of,
storyline moving and building. We're seeing titles changing hands. So it's like,
and
it makes
first
you
of
want to
all,
tune in.
first of all, let me credit to Eddie Kingston being a
Yes.
double belt holder, holding
Yup.
on to the New Japan Pro Wrestling Strong Championship, and now the Ring of Honor World Championship.
Yep.
That
You know
is
what?
me.
That's awesome. I think that's fantastic. That is a great thing to see, because it's like, it's been a long time coming for Eddie Kingston.
It has, I
Lot of
mean,
moment. He's had a lot of moments. He's had a lot of big matches, and you know what? Let's see what he does with it.
big matches against big people for
Mm-hmm.
championships in their own
Yep.
right.
Yeah,
And
and
the
win or
thing is,
lose, yeah.
Eddie, would it be fair to say that Eddie Kingston is essentially the Mick Foley of AEW.
No. Not until he falls
I
off.
almost
Not until
would.
he falls off a hell. Not until he falls off a Hell in the Cell onto a bed of thumbtacks.
He's done enough.
He has. Oh, he's done a lot. He's had his spots, but there is only one Mick Foley.
I'm what
Honestly,
I'm
I would say.
saying is
I would say Moxley would have been closer to the
no,
to
I'm
the
not saying
modern
it
day
because
Mick
of the
Foley.
violence aspect.
But
I'm saying it because of like more of the underdog aspect.
even then,
Because let's face it, one of Kingston's big things is that people don't take him seriously until it starts to get uber violent.
you could say
They
that
they
with other
see him
people
as like
too,
this
but
guy with a beer belly who's just like angry all the time.
it's so it's like okay, so fine, he's the beer belly with the angry all the time, so he's like fine, call him the modern day Brooklyn Brawler or something like that. But I'm not gonna say that he's the modern day Mick Foley because there is only one Mick Foley. Does he show some shades of Foley? Certainly, in certain aspects, yeah. But no, you know what? He could, rather than saying he's the modern day Mick Foley, he's the modern day Eddie Kingston. How about that?
Well, I mean, he'll always be the modern day Eddie Kingston, yes.
So yeah, no, it's like I'm not gonna it's like I'm not gonna call him modern day Mick Foley. No,
Still, though, I mean,
it's
just
great
look
to
at this
see.
picture.
It's great to see.
Look at that with the two belts up in there, with that mug of
So he's a
his.
modern day Kane
Ooh, okay,
with
okay, I can go with that.
with
Modern
that
day King.
expression. Yes, if he has that expression, I'd say he's the modern. He's like a much. He's mini Kane.
Mini King.
Mini Kane. But yeah, so it's like, or even better, Snitsky.
No,
He
no,
looks
no,
like a
no, no. We're not
Snitsky.
gonna go.
He looks like a
No,
Snitsky, or generally any of the other "grr, I'm mad" old like mid late 2000s WWE guy. Like you had
no, but
Snitsky,
I
you
mean,
had what's his name? Oh, why am I? Yeah, I can only name one, of course. But yeah, no, it's a
but I mean, essentially, as far as like a mid card champion and everything
yeah.
goes, that is a good view. Because I mean,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
he's
yeah, yeah, no doubt. No, it's
whatever
I
you
think
think
that's
of Ring
awesome.
of Honor and however they go
Yeah,
about utilizing Ring of Honor,
yeah, just give them all
it's
the mid
nice
card
that you
belts.
have a champion like that who you know once shit goes down, it's going
Mhm.
to be entertaining. Claudio being what he is, great, fine, but I never really got like that. I know everyone would always say, you know, he was always the guy that had to go and get the brass ring, and you know, he was always due for a championship.
I was gonna
But
say you have the undercard guy who wins. That would be Claudio.
yeah,
He's the undercard guy
but
who keeps crashing in the big moments. That was pretty much his. That was Cesaro throughout his WWE run. So it's like one of the reasons why I love seeing him in AEW is because he's actually won stuff rather than
granted,
just
yes.
the tag team titles again with Sheamus. But so you know, Eddie Kingston is. I am glad that I'm glad that is a well deserved win. Double belt holder for basically the non main titles. But I will say this though, there are a lot of belts bouncing around in AEW right now. There
Speaking
really
of which, I'm
is.
surprised they're not showing any post for it right now on their Instagram. Um, Ray Phoenix is also now your new international
Hmm.
champion, beating John Moxley.
Yeah, though I think
Like I would not have
that one has an
expected that.
asterisk on it though. That one I say has an asterisk on it because
How?
from what I've been reading, that was a Moxley audible because he got hurt. That was a Moxley audible, I think.
Do we know what kind of hurt?
Not exactly off the top of my head, unfortunately, but I
Uh,
do believe. But yeah, it's like I said, I'm still been bouncing around back and forth between this and social media, seeing what's being written and what's being posted. But the one thing that seems to be common that's like the common thread is that Moxley called an audible on this one because he did get hurt in the match. and then like afterwards they all like just like him and the Blackpool Combat Club like beelined to Moxley's trailer. So
Oh,
I think something happened. So kudos to Ray Phoenix. I think he'll do fantastic, but I do believe that Moxley was originally slated to go over in this, or Phoenix would win but not get the title somehow. So it's so it's like I'm still waiting for more information to come in on this one. But like I said, the common thread is that this one seems like a Moxley audible.
fair, fair.
But
If that is
which I
true,
say, but if that is true, yeah, I agree. If that is true, kudos to Moxley for calling that and not doing
right?
the BS WWE method of just having a quick, oh, hey, match is over, what? And then, but have him still hold on to the title. So you know what? Calling an audible to lose the title because he knows he got hurt and he may be out for a little while. Not only did that create a decent finish to the match, it lifted up the opponent, and now it gives Phoenix an opportunity to showcase what he can do. I think that's
Right.
I think
Which, considering we
kudos
really didn't get to see him during that
kudos.
whole
Yep.
Lucha Bros, Eddie Kingston
Yeah.
versus
Yeah,
Blackpool
exactly.
Combat Club thing at All In,
Mhm.
it gives
So,
him a time to shine
yeah.
now that he didn't get to on what essentially is the grandest
Yeah.
stage that's
Yeah.
ever happened in wrestling.
Yeah.
So
So,
hopefully, he makes the most of the opportunity.
yeah. So, yeah, and like I said, kudos to Moxley for calling that.
Right. Now, as far as the rest of the night goes, it was pretty standard. A good match between Tony Storm and Saraya.
Mhm.
Saraya still retained. And a pretty damn violent match between
Mhm.
MJF and Joe, which MJF retained. And funny enough, Joe actually went ahead and extended his hand to MJF, and they
Mhm.
shook, which, considering the rivalry and considering the kind of character that Joe is, that says a lot. To go ahead and like
Mhm.
allow that, I don't know if it means that they're not going to be suiting this up anytime soon. With like Joe trying to get back at the title again, especially with Wrestle Dream coming up on October 1st.
Mhm.
I don't know what they really have planned for it now, because I figured this was going to be like one of those times when something would happen in the match that would be like, oh no, we have to do it again. But no, and with this handshake, that pretty much like sets the deal on it.
Yeah. And you know what? That's good. I think that it's like it it works storylines. It's not just a straight up LOL Reigns wins. It's like you finish a storyline, you keep everyone engaged, and you showcase that, all right, they know it's a contest. I like that. So, but yeah. Also, apologize going back to the Moxley thing. He got hurt on the Phoenix driver. Basically, went
Ah,
right on the head.
okay, okay.
Yep.
I mean, that's nothing new from Mox per se, but
No,
yeah, okay.
but he had the wherewithal to call the audible. So
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah,
But so
supposedly.
now with Joe seemingly settled, what does this mean for MJF as far as like title contention? Roddy is in his hospital bed, as we saw earlier tonight. And he's still tag partners with Adam Cole with the Ring of Honor tag belts. Who is going to be the next to go up against MJF?
Uh, Honestly, I'm not really sure. We might see you might see a return from somebody. It might be Danielson. It might be a Don Callis guy. What's his name? Shoot. Uh, Takeshita.
Takeshita?
Takeshita. Yeah, yeah. It could be him in an angle. It it could be a couple people. So it's like Joe was the big one, and you know what? I think, and that was a pretty good conclusion. Who knows? Maybe Joe might demand a rematch.
I mean, it's possible, but here's the thing that really gets me, because now that Punk is gone, and with him his
Mhm.
real championship, you basically just have the one major title between all three shows: Dynamite, Rampage, Collision. And you've already taken out possibly the biggest heel that you had for someone like MJF. Because MJF
Mhm.
is still a tweener, regardless of whether or not some people do like him now, there are still some people that can't stand him. So it's going to be hard to find somebody with the right charisma to go up against him. I would say the only person you have at this moment, if you pushed it right, um, would probably be Ricky Starks. And I don't know if they're ready to do that yet.
Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
imagine Adam Cole and Big Bill fighting it out on the outsides.
exactly. It could be Big Bill popping in there. It could be, who knows? It could be Roderick Strong somehow getting involved in this. It's
Oh,
like,
I'm sure he
hey,
will eventually, but
it's
right
like
now
it's
he's
like, all right,
coasting.
Adam Cole
Yeah.
couldn't do it, so you know what? I'm going to do it instead. Ha ha ha. And
With
whatever.
Roddy, I can see them. I can see him working with the Kingdom to take off the Ring of Honor belts, and then
That,
driving that wedge
yeah.
between the two, rather than trying to go after the
Hmm.
big belt.
Okay. Yeah, no, there are plenty of people that could get involved, or this could be the next step for the Blackpool Combat Club. Just because it's like, okay, they all just lost their belts. You know what? Instead of going for these piddling little belts, we're gonna have Danielson or Castagnoli go make a push for it for the next match, just to bring some hype. Even though MJF probably won't lose it, it could still result in a good match.
Right. Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if they're going to have Moxley out for injury, and now that Claudio doesn't have the Ring of Honor title, they might push BCC onto him. But
In like singles action with them in the corner, because they're a heel faction. And while MJF has Adam Cole Bebe in this corner, that could be a whole bunch of different angles too. So you know what? I'm interested in seeing what they do next. But you know what else that means? That means it's a sign of good storytelling, because people want to see what is coming next.
speaking of, might as well go ahead and use this as the transition point. What is coming next in the world of the women's division as far as AEW is concerned?
Mm.
Because
Yep.
while we did talk about it last week, we know that Jade Cargill did return to AEW, if only briefly.
Hmm.
Lost to Chris Statlander on Rampage, and is now pretty much removed from the company. Now supposedly working at the Performance Center for WWE,
Hmm.
with a future
Yep.
premiere happening there.
Yep. And
And
apparently there was a bumper contract signed,
right, which good for
according to
her.
Bleacher Report. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
definitely
hey,
good for her.
get that money when you can. I do, and you know that they're offering that WWE will offer more money to her than AEW will, especially for a women's division. It's
Right,
just it's just unfortunately she's coming in at a time where they're going to be heavily pushing you know who, and she has a risk of getting hurt.
right. Nia Jax being what it is, Becky Lynch being on NXT, doing what she can to elevate that title,
Hmm.
and those people
Yep.
there.
But
Um,
the thing is, like according to Bleacher Report, the bumper contract is going to have her go right to a main show,
right. So more than likely, probably
Raw.
SmackDown.
Yeah, either
Well,
Raw or
you
SmackDown.
think she's going to Raw?
Uh, it's either Raw or SmackDown. I'll say Raw.
I'll say SmackDown.
There we go.
But
And and
put
when
that on the list.
and
Since she
and
hasn't
then and
been
and
with
we'll
a
have
huge fan,
Davion be
we
the
can add
tiebreaker.
that. No,
Yep.
but that does put the AEW women's division in a little bit of disarray. Now, obviously, there have been people talking for the past few months, if not longer, about how the women's divisions of both AEW and WWE have been utilized,
Hmm.
and frankly, poorly.
Both on both
Now,
on both counts.
yes, now AEW does have a little bit of a different perspective on all this, because while Raw does have like their people set on SmackDown and their people set on Raw, and of course the women's division set in NXT. You have a bumper crop of people to work with. I've gone ahead and actually taken a screenshot of the AEW women's roster as it stands right now, post Jade Cargill. It doesn't look too good. That is all the women in AEW for all 3 shows that they have. Not a lot, is it?
Honestly, it's a good number of people. Like look, it's like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 30. There's 34 women in the division. That's a good number. It's just they haven't been utilizing them.
But wait, it gets better. All right. So now if we were to zoom in, I've done a little bit of editing here. So first of all, we already know that someone like Jamie Hayter, she's on the injured list.
Yes.
Don't know when she's supposed to be coming back. We also have Paige Van Zandt, who has been on the injured list since last year, has not even wrestled this year. But we know that Penelope Ford, unfortunately, she did have a miscarriage. Kip Sabian told us that that's why she's been off camera lately.
Tragic. It's like
it is, and we do hope that she is taking the time well to heal up properly.
Absolutely.
But that's why she hasn't been around.
Absolutely.
Almost in the same vein, Ty Mello or Ty Conti has also had a pregnancy that has taken her off, which of course they've lauded and touted thanks to Sammy Guevara. And then you also have people like Yuka Sakazaki, who has been working over in Tokyo for like the past few months, will be graduating from their system in December. So probably we won't be able to see her until she actually moves to the US in 2024. And Thunder Rosa, while she has been on the injured list, she should be coming back this month, or at least within the next couple of weeks.
Like I've been she's been making regular appearances on
she's been
on the
making
radio
appearances,
on the
hasn't wrestled yet because of last year's injury. If she can get some wrestling done this month or next month or sometime before the end of 2023, perfect.
Yeah.
But now,
it's because that's like I listen to her like almost every other morning or so because she pops on the Sirius what the heck is it called? I am so terrible with names and titles of things. It's not even funny. but yeah, she's on the she's on the Sirius XM like main wrestling show with like Tommy Dreamer and Bully Ray and them. So yeah, now she should be making a return soon.
But now here's the bad part. Now, as we go through, it gives you the overall rankings for their matches, both in their career and in 2023 overall. Now, obviously, we know Thunder Rosa has not wrestled this year because of last year's injury. Serena Deeb has not wrestled this year.
Nope.
The Bunny, while she has wrestled and been on a losing streak.
Yep. And only 3 matches.
Only 3 matches.
Riho, only 6 matches. Red Velvet, only 3 matches. Rebel, none.
Rebel has not had anything since they decided to group up Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter versus the Outcasts. But it is noted that as of this summer, she is no longer working in the hair and makeup division. She is strictly an on-camera talent.
Okay.
So what are they doing with her?
Hopefully they're prepping something for her, because also that 1 in 10 record's kind of rough to see overall, because she hasn't really been doing much.
Now,
Mercedes Martinez is there. Yeah.
Mercedes Martinez. Don't really know what's going on with her, but she's popped up once in a blue moon. I think she popped up with Diamante.
Yeah, Madison Rain only one
match.
But
even then, when you look at Diamante and her, she's got only 4 and 7, whereas her girlfriend, her life partner, Kira Hogan, only these few.
Yeah, It's yeah. They need to bring in more
And then you
of
got
their
someone
women's
like
division.
legit Layla Hirsch,
Absolutely.
also thing this year,
Hmm. Yep. Or Abaddon.
who is supposed
Like
to
a
be,
scroll. Yeah.
I think she's supposed to be coaching behind the scenes. As
Okay.
a talent, they have her with matches this year. Why isn't she being
Yep.
used?
So yeah.
And quite frankly, the most jarring things, you don't see any of Athena, who is
Even
your
though she
only
is
other woman
the
holding a belt.
ROH. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you don't have Abaddon. Abaddon, when
Yeah.
I first saw Abaddon, Abaddon was like, holy shit, what are they doing here?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
love it. I
Absolutely.
love Abaddon.
Hmm.
But
It's a
again, so
it's a
many
unique
people,
look and a unique character.
yes, you always have to have like that one, like, I don't want to say freak of nature, but that's essentially what Abaddon is.
Yeah.
But you have these women who have not been running the ropes at all. Maybe they've been doing it in dark matches, but not on camera.
Yeah. No,
And
they.
there is no explanation why. They're
Yeah.
not on the injured list. There's
Hmm.
nothing about whether or not they
Yeah.
needed to take time off, like, say, Penelope Ford did or anything.
Yep.
There's just no word
No.
about them
Yeah.
whatsoever.
It's just been the same. It's like been the same four in a match with it's correction. It's been like the same three in a match. It's like it's been Britt Baker. It's been Tony Storm, and then you have like one other of that trifecta, like either Soraya or Ruby Soho, and
Or
it like
Cheetah.
maybe like yeah, exactly, or like and it rotates like the fourth or fifth person that they usually have in the matches, and it rotates between like an individual, but it's someone who you still have seen a lot. So I do agree, they do need to get more of the women involved and
Yeah,
have
and
more than
mind you,
just one match on a pay-per-view card.
yeah, and plus, look at this roster.
Hmm.
Aside from maybe Harley Cameron,
Hmm.
um, which I can't say anything about it because I haven't actually seen her in a match, but she's the one that was rapping up against the Acclaimed,
Hmm.
wasn't she? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Great rapping skills, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And she's 2-0 so far for the year.
Hmm.
But why is she not being utilized? Just because she's the
And
one woman in
yeah,
QTV?
yeah, and then you have
Where is Marina
the ever
Shafir? Look, she had a bad promo last year. We get it. The
but then
time
again,
has
and
come for
then
her to be used more.
yes, but then again, you also have the rumors all swirling around involving Monet. So
Yeah, and
you
who
even
would
have
know the
that,
rumors
even
because
have
she's
her that
still
can be popped
injured.
into here. So yeah, it's like they need to get more
It's just
women involved.
with the few women that you do, it's not like you're even signing more. There's no talk of any signings, at least as far as I've known of. There's
Yep.
been no word of anyone being brought up from any developmental brand like they do over in
Hmm.
WWE. This is all you've got,
Yep.
and you're using maybe 40% of your roster regularly.
Hmm.
And you wonder why people are upset.
Yeah. It's like for all that AEW has been doing right in the men's division, they've been doing not things that aren't so right in the women's division, but in
That was
terms
such a
of
very careful way of saying.
they've been doing it piss poorly.
Okay,
So
there you
it's
go.
yeah, there you go. But yeah, no, they definitely need to get more of the women involved. It's like when Soraya won the title, I think that's great. That way we can see more of her, and I think that could lead to a bunch of other really good angles because you have Soraya, you still have the stable going on, you still have Ruby Soho
Well,
involved, you could still have the never-ending specter of Tony Storm because of have get that stuff involved. So it's like
yeah, but
you
that's the
still have
thing. Lately, it's all just been the infighting. I
yes,
mean, you
it
can't
doesn't need to
progress
be the
with
infighting.
anybody
That's the
else
problem.
otherwise.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like it doesn't need to be infighting. Keep them together. Have like another faction pop up to counter them. Hell, have Tony Storm create a faction with some of the lesser used people. Go for it. Get Riho involved again. That would be great. It's just like they have the talent available. Please use them. Please get them involved.
Like, it'd be
Have
nice
more
if some
than
of these
one
people
women's
just
match.
solidified as, like, taggers on of other
Mhm.
people, like how Rebel was Britt's tagger on, or how Red Velvet and Kira Hogan were Jade's tagging on before that all imploded.
Mhm.
Make some of these people more individuals, like what they've done with Tony Storm, how they've made her more of an individual rather than just another running buddy of Soraya.
Mhm.
You have enough people. Layla Gray, I can't remember the last time I saw Layla Gray. I know she was a baddie, but that's it. When was the last time you saw her in a singles match? Like, there are just so many
Far too
people.
long. Far too long.
Now, mind you, I'm not saying that WWE is saintly
No. Oh God,
comparatively.
no.
I think there was a story just for this past Monday that the match for Becky Lynch got changed because she wanted to fight Tegan Knox,
Mhm.
but then she got fed Natalia because they wanted to give Natalia her flowers for working in India when Becky couldn't go.
Becky couldn't. Yeah. Which I can understand. I can understand that. That's fine.
But
But
then work up to that. Don't mess up someone else's plans or someone else's match 10 minutes prior,
mhm. Exactly. Exactly.
which is such a Vince move. We are obviously. But
Mm. Yep. That's good
but, yeah,
shit.
but that's the thing. You can look at something like that and see something like that happen and be like, "Oh, that's a Vince move."
Yep.
What's the explanation here? Even
It's
even
just.
Tony during the media scrums has dodged questions about the women's division so much.
Mhm.
He just I don't know why he's scared of this.
Yeah.
I don't. It's funny.
Mhm.
Oh, mercy. But
Yeah.
anyway,
No. It's it's frustrating.
it is. It is. Especially when you can't even say that any of these women are like bad in the ring. I can't look at any of these women and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
well, they're not going to put on a good match." Hell, uh what is it? Who's the one that's undefeated right now? Julia Hart. Julia Hart right
Julia
now is
Hart.
8-0 in singles for the year.
And it's because she has House of Black helping, like backing her up. So it's
Well, not
like
even
she's at least.
that. They barely
Yeah. Well.
doing
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
against
Yeah.
women
No.
in her matches.
She's still been winning.
Yes.
She's been winning clean on her own, no doubt.
So how is she not being pushed more?
Maybe that's
She
who
should
will be next.
automatically get a shot against Statlander for this.
Maybe that's what we'll be seeing next. It's
I
because
would hope so because
it's
right
because
now
she's
House of
in
Black
an
has no
active
belt.
faction. Because House of Black is still active, very active.
Yes,
So having her involved in the title picture could be where they're going next. But like I said, we need more women's storylines happening.
exactly.
We need
Give me
more.
something with Emi Sakura. Give me
hmm
something where
We have multiple women. We have multiple women's titles, so you can have multiple storylines going at once, going after the title. Hell, just make the
yeah.
storylines like, I want a title. Oh, I have the title. I'm gonna fight you. Okay, and there you go. There's your storyline right there. That'll be
Yeah, there's at
fine.
least three
Create some good
main
matches.
titles that can be done. You have the TBS, you have the women's, and you have the Ring of Honor. And yet you're lucky if you see one match per show. And that's besides anything that you could
hmm
do outside of the title pictures. They don't build
Yep.
up anything outside of the title pictures.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see just, I don't know, give me two women. I needed two women, and I could probably write you a rivalry for them.
Exactly.
Pick two.
It's like, you know what? Just it'll give them screen time. It'll showcase their talents, and then maybe it might even start. It might even lead to potential threads that they can pull for later storylines too.
Yeah,
It's like
instead, all we're getting is like pictures of Sky Blue's butt because that's what the fans like.
to be fair, that's yes, not necessarily a bad thing. That camera, the whoever's working the camera knows what they're doing. But
But,
but we but no pun
I say
intended.
this figuratively and literally, but
We need more.
there
We
is
need to
more.
see. We need to see matches. We need to see some more some more in-ring action. We need to see some more storylines. You have the time. You have the slots. You have multiple weekly shows. Utilize them.
Get Freddie Prinze Jr. to write you some stuff. He's worked with enough talented women in his career.
Yeah. Hell, make what's it called? Just don't bring in Vince Russo. He sucks.
Yeah, no. That's taking women's wrestling in a whole different perspective.
Yes.
And don't bring in Eric Bischoff either.
Yeah.
Less
Keep them as far away.
HLA, the better.
Keep them as far away, and keep anyone who's worked in the friggin' WWE away from them too.
Basically, just get some new writers. How about that? I
Mhm.
know it may be hard during the strike right now, but if you can, pick up somebody.
Yeah.
Here's an idea. If you don't already have one on staff, get a female writer.
There you go. Or get one of the women who are coaching to do some
Madison
writing
Rain
for them.
had plenty of luck during her time with the Beautiful People. I'm
Exactly.
sure she could come up with some great things.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like you have enough women sitting on the shelf right now. Get one of them to write. Or let them showcase their writing chops if they want to.
Maybe talk to some of their friends, see if you can maybe bring in one or two more people to fill in the gaps, but then make those new people utilize the talent that is not already being utilized. Don't have them go to the Outcasts. Don't have them pal up with Britt. Make them utilize some new people. Hell, Willow Nightingale is probably like the most universal person that they've had as of late. Let her bring in someone.
Absolutely. So it's like they have the options, they have the talent. As stated before multiple times, utilize them.
They got the tools. They got the talent. Okay, but enough
You
of us
bet.
harping for women's rights in wrestling, because last thing they need is two white guys to be vouching for them. Yes, we are two white guys vouching for them, but
Couldn't tell, huh? I'm only
I know
blending into my
it
background,
surprises me
that's all.
too.
Yeah. So
You're not white, opaque.
Larry's not white, Larry's clear.
But that's pretty much it as far as wrestling is concerned. Again,
And
I do just
speaking
want
of
to go
things that are
ahead
clear,
and
so
remind. What?
I was gonna say, and speaking of clear, solid facts, as a reminder, we got ourselves an event coming up.
Oh, that's where you were going with that. Okay. I wasn't sure what you
Because
were doing.
like the crystal clear segue.
Yes, very, very. Again, before we leave tonight, this is the final time we will be talking about it, so we have to talk about it. Danger Zone MMA, Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for $10, for less than a bucket of popcorn at your movie theater, or whatever you drink at Starbucks. You can watch 19 mixed martial arts fights for an entire evening. And whatever Kyle's doing, yeah, you can go ahead with that. It is our first big collaborative event as Stream Punk as a franchise. So we do look forward to you coming and getting your tickets using the discount code when you go to moment.com, or simply using the QR code over in the corner to get your 10% off your ticket price, which it's $10. I mean, you're not going to find a cheaper deal in mixed martial arts. If you do, tell us. We'll partner with them next time. But I'm telling you, you are not going to find a cheaper deal than this. And, if you need something to do, why not do this? Any words besides all the fighting and punching that you've been doing?
You want to see more fighting and punching? Tune into Danger Zone MMA. Use the code $10, and then you get an additional 10% off. So
Yeah, Danger 10. That's it.
Danger 10 for an extra 10% off. Use the code. We got the QR code up in the corner there. Use it. Use it. Enjoy it. Get a night of 19 potentially amazing fights.
Right. Now, of course, if you want the code after this, we should be showing it on all of our socials here. Go ahead, check them out: Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook for the older people.
Twitter.
We know what it is.
And Blue Sky.
Oh yeah, we have Blue Sky. Yeah.
Yep.
If you have gotten the invite for Blue Sky, find it on Blue Sky.
Mm-hmm.
But
there is a Streampunk Sports or a Streampunk Entertainment Blue Sky account. Come check
right,
it out.
but again,
Come
I
say
can't say that for
hello.
everybody. But as far as the universal stuff that everyone can get, there it is.
Yes.
So with that, we're actually going to go ahead and close it down for the night. It has been another interesting night of wrestling talk. Again, for myself, Ryan O'Regan, and for the sniper Kyle Krieger over there. Now, okay, usually I say we are Jabronis United, but again, since The Rock was so prominent in using and honing the word jabroni, should I do it like The Rock?
Send it off however you want, because if you won't, I will.
All right.
Because we don't have Davion to steal it from us all.
Yes, exactly. All the more reason to do it now.
Or Rob.
Or Rob, yes. All right. If you smell what Jabronis United is cooking. That is probably going to be gift, I'm sure, but stay home.